Let's welcome our host, Erica Wilson.
Great day, everyone. We're here live today with your girl, Dr. Erica Wilson, at It Had to Happen TV. And our topic for tonight is Bruised But Built, Confessions of an Athlete. And tonight's guest is more than an athlete. He's a 3-time national champion, a first-round NFL draft pick, and an 11-year NFL veteran. Man, and a 10-year radio personality, and owns a cigar bar, and an author. Out night out. I don't know why I'm so nervous, but please do forgive me. But beyond the accolades, guys, he's a man who understands pressure, transition, and what it means to evolve beyond the game. Y'all know I'm such a big football girl, and I'm so excited about having this guest on tonight. And I want to tell you guys also, because success on the field doesn't automatically teach you ownership off the field. And our guest knows that all too well. So tonight we're talking about mentorship. We're talking about money. We're talking about ownership. And we're talking about personal growth. This is Bruised But Built. And this conversation is about becoming more than your resume. So without further ado, let me introduce to some and present to others the legend, Mr. Leon Searcy Jr. Welcome.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate you.
Thanks for coming. I don't know. You got me nervous tonight. I never choke up like that.
Oh, stop it. I'm not getting you nervous. I'm just people.
I tell you, I don't know. I got a legend on the show tonight, and he got me all choked up. That never happened to me, but that's okay, Mr. Searcy. I said a little bit about who you are, but can you tell our audience about who you are and what it is that you're doing now?
Well, I mean, you summed it up pretty well. I'm a former Miami Hurricane 3-time national champion, first-team All-American, 11-year NFL vet. More than that, I'm a survivor. I'm an absolute survivor of life after football. Life after football, in some occasions, is good for some and terrible for others. And that's what it was for me. And I'm grateful to be here right now. through the grace of God and help throughout the times with my family, I'm able to be here. I'm a phoenix because I remember where I was, and I appreciate where I'm at. When I say I'm a survivor, because I don't want to make it seem like all dim and grim, because I grew through the process of what I went through with the NFL. And I just wanted to make sure that I'm a shining example for guys who 78% of the guys who lead the NFL, broke. And I was one of those guys. And unfortunately, I was one of those guys who felt like it would have never happened to me. But I don't blame anybody for it. I blame myself because I associated myself with toxic people. And I was toxic myself. So therefore, my vibration brought those people into my life, unfortunately. And I didn't realize until it was too late. But I grew from it, and I'm the man I am because of the struggles and because I rose again despite being in the ashes.
I know that's right. He said he's a phoenix, guys. And I hope someone that's listening in is really hearing what he's saying here. He not only said, know what he did wrong, but he owned it. So that's part of the ownership we're going to be talking about here tonight.
Mhm.
And Mr. Searcy, I'm a NFL mom, and we were talking in the green room, and I was telling you, my son had to find himself after football as well. And it's far too often where a lot of athletes that's leaving the league, that's the only
Mhm.
thing that they knew, Mr. Searcy. That's football was their life, basically. So once football is done with you, or you're done with football, what was your next move? Like sitting in your retirement, like when it's finally
Mhm.
in, what was that like for you?
Well, I didn't have a next move. I really didn't. I thought that the people that I had that were my associates, my financial advisor, my agent, I thought they had my best interest at hand, but I didn't realize it till it was far too late that they had their own interest. And I ended up being broke and lost a lot of money and was cast away like a leper. And I never experienced that feeling because all the times that I played football, everybody wanted to be around me. Everybody was wanted to be associated with me with all the success that I had. It was the first time in my life where I felt abandoned. I felt lonely, and I contemplated life, to be quite honest with you. So uh, I had to hit rock bottom, and that's what happened. I hit rock bottom, and I was able to rise again.
Mhm.
I wrote a book about it. I wrote a book about it. Essentially, the book that I wrote called Fourth Down the Damn Alignment Story saved my life because when I was in the motel room in Fort Lauderdale, that was the only thing that gave me inspiration to get up in the morning. It made me accountable for getting up every day in the morning because I used to cry myself to sleep as if that was going to solve the problem because no one was coming to save me but me. So the book inspired me. I wrote the book at the very lowest time in my life, and it gave me inspiration to get up each and every day to write it, and ultimately got it published. And it was Amazon's #1 football autobiography about 30 years ago. But that's not important. The important thing is that I wrote the book to inspire other young men who might be going through what I'm going through to never give up on yourself and always believe in who you are.
Absolutely. Hearing what you just said about everybody left,
Hmm.
you know, when you're on that field and all the lights is on you, you're everything to everybody. But soon as that jersey come off and those cleats come off and that retirement sets in. But Mr. Cersei, think about this. What even happens when the players get injured and may have to sit out for a while? You know, even sitting in that, how is it that, when you're sitting in that, you have to have a strong mind. That's what my son always said. You have to have your
Hmm.
mental have to be right because that's all you know. It's just football, football, football. But you said the agents and everybody else that was around, when you're hurt, who's
Hmm.
around then as well?
Well, no one's around. I mean, especially your team and your teammates. Like you're treated like a castaway. I mean, because unfortunately in NFL, your best your best uh, your best ability is your availability. And if you're not available to the team, you're considered a liability. So as unfortunate as a lot of players young in their careers who get injured, they get tossed to the side because you got to remember the NFL is a revolving door. What you can't do for them, they'll find somebody else to do it. So you got to understand the nature of the business. Um, and it happens far too often to a lot of young players who are not equipped to handle that kind of stuff mentally. You're talking about 21 to 22 22 to 21-year-old men who throughout their whole career, maybe in high school, college, and even Pop Warner, were massaged and told how great they were. And then when they get to the next level and they get injured or they're not as productive as they should be, they're cast away. They're told they're not good enough. They're told that they can't make the team. I've seen it. I've seen it, and some players handle it well and some players don't. So that's just the nature of the business. You got to understand. I always tell players that when they come into the NFL, are you equipped mentally, physically, and spiritually?
Wow.
You got to be mentally, physically, and spiritually equipped for the NFL, because if you don't, it will eat you alive.
Wow. Hearing that mentally, physically, you say mentally,
Mental,
physically,
physical, and spiritually.
and spiritually. Here's the thing, a lot of the times we're missing that spiritual part. We're missing that spiritual part because we're thinking we're doing things on our own. And I say we, and that's from the parents to the athlete, whoever it may be. But coming into, like you said, coming into that league, especially at the young age, and you're coming into all of this money. I didn't want to jump into this right now, but we're going to go ahead and do it. Holy Spirit, this way, let's do it. So you're coming into all of this money. Who would you say have your best interest, or if anybody have your best
interest? Nobody has your best interest at hand. You've got to treat yourself like an LLC, a corporation, and you've got to do the hiring and firing, and you've got to put everybody on a short leash, everybody, because far too often a lot of these players put their livelihoods in the hands of people who got their own interests at hand. You've got to put the onus on yourself to get the job done. Pay your own bills, invest, ask questions. There are no stupid questions. Ask your agent what he's doing. All right. Be leery of real estate ventures that they try to put you in, investment ventures they try to put you in. Do you do due diligence? Hire an attorney. The best thing you can do as a player is to hire your own personal attorney that has no attachment to anybody that you know, and then it has no agenda. So now, and you pay him, you pay him a fee to go over everything, every contract that comes your way, your own contract, anything that has to deal with the logistics of investment and real estate and property. Have him go over everything. Make sure he's not associated with anybody like your agent or your financial advisor, and let him go through everything, because he doesn't have an agenda. He's just getting paid, referral fee. Yeah. Make sure you have somebody on the side where you can go to that can always look over any paperwork that's sent your way.
Oh, that's good. And I also heard too that don't have, like, your financial advisor and your agent shouldn't be entwined either. And see, that's a big mistake that a lot of kids are making, or young men are making, is they're having all in one. They're having their financial advisor tied to their agent. But here's the biggest thing, Mr. Searcy. I heard of a player once upon a time had 2 financial advisors. I don't think your financial advisor should get paid unless you get paid.
I agree with that. I don't have a problem with 2 financial advisors, because what you want to do, you want to have checks and balances. You want to have a certain amount of money in each account, and whoever delivers the best interest per quarter or per year, that's who should get your account. And then never let anybody financially feel comfortable with you around. Make them as uncomfortable as possible, because it's you out on that field. It's you that's putting your body into harm's way each and every Sunday. Once your career is over, those guys can go back to their desk jobs and live comfortably. But once you put 10, 12 years in the league, there's no reason why you should walk away from the game without any money.
Whew, that's good. Well, we're going to jump into this because we're talking about the financial advisor. We spoke about the agent, of course. But here it is, you have parents that want that money as well. They don't look at their child as their child. They look at their child as a walking sum. Look at their child as, oh, now you're going to take care of me. Now you're going to retire me. But I always told my son, Mr. Searcy, you don't owe me anything. Nothing. You did what you were supposed to do. You gave me what I asked for you to graduate college and high school. You did that, and that's it. Whatever you decide to do outside of that, that's totally on you. But what
Mhm.
happens when you have too many people on your bankroll?
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, you're gonna take care of mama. I don't care what you say as a player. You're gonna take care of mama first. So, mama gonna get the house. She's gonna get the car because mama's always been there. She's always been your ride or die, even when you were little. Always believed in you when nobody else did. So, it's
Mm.
understandable that you take care of mama first. But if you want to do anything for your family, the best thing you could probably do is start a business where they can all be benefactors of it and make sure they work the business. Don't give
Mhm.
them any money. Say, listen, we're gonna put together a project, whatever it may be, flipping houses, restaurants, whatever it be. We're gonna do an LLC as a business. You're gonna have to work this business. There ain't
Mhm.
gonna be no free rides. You're gonna have to work this business, and the success of the business is contingent upon you going there, putting in the time and the effort. And if you don't, you get fired,
And
and
that's
let them
it.
make the money off the business.
Wow. Well, you
Hmm.
being a business owner, um, I want to know one of the questions I have for you tonight is you accomplished at the highest level early. You went into the draft first round.
Yeah.
But what did success not prepare you for?
What success did not prepare me for? Did prepare me for the pariahs that were in the NFL, the leeches,
Ooh.
the people that had their own agenda. They're there because I was naive. You got to remember, I never played football to make it to the NFL. When I only played 1 year of high school football, and the reason why I played football is because my parents were both working class people, and I didn't want to be a burden on them to go to college. So I went out for football to get a free scholarship, and I did. And I never thought about the NFL when I went to the University of Miami. I just knew that I was able to get a college degree without my parents having to pay for it. And that's the reason why I went out for football. Now, I ended up having to be a great player to where the NFL came calling, but that was never in my intentions out of high school to go to the NFL. It just worked its way out for me. Now, as far as getting into the NFL, I was kind of green to the type of people, the type of toxic people that were associated with being with the NFL. Um, Agents, financial guys. Everybody's got a scheme, everybody's got an investment, all that kind of stuff. So, being naive to the game um,
Mhm.
eventually got me caught up with people that I shouldn't have been dealing with.
Mm. So, what are some of the red signs that we as parents can look for as far as those that's coming with their hidden agendas? Because, it happens far too
Well,
often.
well, what I would essentially do. I would do a background check on the financial advisor and the agent. Far too often they like to tell you about the guys that they represented, but what about the guys that they represented who didn't succeed? Because they do have a laundry list, and you need to know why. You tell them, so okay, so you had this guy. Why didn't this guy succeed? What happened here? Why did he lose money? Why was he broke? Why was he? A lot of parents don't ask that. The agent's going to give you all the success stories, but you need to go out there and find the ones that weren't so successful and ask them,
Mhm.
how did this happen on your watch? Why
Mm.
was this guy? And they're going to give you a bunch of bull where he was this and that and reckless with his money and all that kind of stuff. And then you should ask them, okay, if he was all these things and you saw that, why didn't you assert yourself to make sure that he didn't continue down this path? Why did you allow him to continue down this path of being reckless
Mhm.
because he was on your watch?
That's
So
right.
you just have to be assertive as a parent to do your due diligence when it comes to what kind of agent or financial people you're dealing with, because as many success stories they want to tell you that they had, you need to find out the ones that weren't so successful and ask them why they
That's right.
didn't succeed.
That is good. That is so good. Because you said no question is a dumb question.
None.
You
Mm-hmm.
ask as many questions as you can, is what Mr. Searcy said. Because at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, you have these people coming into your life. Like it's your child. He's the brand.
Yep.
And God, come on, God. He's the brand. But here it is. If you're not educated or have someone that's connected to you could teach you these things, or get inside some programs that offer these things, or get with some other moms or dads that may know this and have walked the walk and be able to show you or teach you some of the things that you should know,
Mm-hmm.
they would, like you said, they would eat you alive. Listen, seriously, I was a single mom and I didn't have a clue, but I went back to school because I wanted to know the lingo that them agents was going to be
Mm-hmm.
talking to me about, about my son.
Absolutely.
And they knew when coming through my door, you just can't come in there and tell me anything, because they had the next questions about me, because that's one of the things that parents don't know as well. They interviewing you, I guess, all while you're in college. They're interviewing you, your everything that's attached to you. Can I say that?
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell y'all something. He's from the what? The
Do
youth.
you? Absolutely. Yes.
See, listen, they don't know nothing. It's a youth thing. They wouldn't even
It
understand.
is. It is a
Mr.
you thing
Sarah.
for sure.
Well, you know what? Another thing too. Here it is. We want to talk about the agents and we want to talk about the financial advisors, but what about the girls?
Well, they can be a distraction if you allow them to be. Um, there are vices that are. I say there's three vices that all players have to deal with when they get into the NFL. Money can be a vice, women can be a vice, and spending can be a vice. Those are three of the, I think, the three of the most uh, contagious things when it comes to spending money. You either spend the money on women, going out and impressing people that really don't give a damn about you, to be quite honest with you. But when it comes to the women, it's you have to be selective in who you choose and who you deal with, because they're going to be there. They're absolutely going to be there, and you just got to be selective. You got to be careful because just like the agents and the financial people, some women have an agenda as well. First of all, with the day of social media, they have access to you. They know what I don't understand about a lot of players. They go on social media and post where they're at and what club they're at. So once they do that, these women who attach themselves to players, they're at these same bars, these same clubs, trying to deal with them, trying to get access to them, which is troubling to me because there are a lot of women out there who will use their bodies to sway men into doing things for them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that was one of the things too, like at the University of Miami, when the recruiting process, was a lot of that going on. But what do they call them? Spotters or liaisons? What do they call it when you take when the guys go out, they want to make sure that the guys are in good company per se.
Oh
Uh
well, I didn't have that when I was playing, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
really? Well,
No, we didn't have women at a company that. Now we went out with guys. We went out with upperclassmen who took us to places where there were going to be women at, but we didn't have women like as far as escorts showing us around and stuff like that.
No, no, no,
Miami's,
not escorts showing you around. Like when the guys go out, so
yeah.
they will be taken advantage of. They have like a spotter. I guess I don't know what I'm. Is it a spot? Take a guy with them. To
Yeah.
make they don't spend too much. They don't end up. If they do drink, they have someone to drive them.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay, you're talking about somebody who, when the players go out and have too much fun, that they make sure they take care of and get home safe. Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Those are called runners usually. Runners usually go out with the players on visits to make sure they don't get in any trouble, or if they got to drive, if they've been drinking, they don't have to drive at home and all that kind of stuff like that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right. Well, guys,
Yeah.
I do want you to know that this is only educational and inspirational here at It Had to Happen TV. We are not telling you this is what you should do, but this is some good information to put out there if you have an know an athlete, or maybe an upcoming athlete that's getting ready to enter into the NFL, because what we do not know is that is a whole nother monster. I say your collegiate years, okay. Your NFL years, that's a totally different monster. So, Mr. Searcy, I want to
Hmm.
know, what was your it had to happen moment when you sat inside of that Fort Lauderdale room?
Um, Well, I was in the motel room. I was calling the family members up. Well, mostly my father to, to lend me money. This was before Uber. I didn't have a car. I used to have to walk to the grocery store and have had handful of grocery in both hands. Had to walk in the blazing sun to the hotel to just make sure that I ate for the next 30 days. And it was a very disheartening feeling because it was a very disheartening feeling for me, essentially, because I'd had so much success in the NFL. I had lived a very comfortable and lavish lifestyle to the point where um, I didn't feel good about myself as a person, knowing that that I'd fallen so far from where I was, and I was embarrassed to ask for help. And I just had to figure out a way to get out of this situation. The first thing I had to do was because I used to blame everybody else except myself. I blamed my agent. I blamed family, friends. And I think that the turning point for me is when I took ownership to the problems that had manifested in my life, essentially based upon the poor decisions that I made as a player. And then once I took ownership of that, I was able to uh, make better decisions on me moving forward because it didn't do me any good blaming everybody else because everybody else wasn't in that hotel room. It was me. And I had to say to myself, you know what? It was you. It was your poor choice in people. You attracted those people into your life. You allowed those people to make those kind of decisions for you that were harmful to you to the point where you're in this situation. And once I realized I'd made so many bad decisions, I said to myself, you know what? Moving forward, I'm not going to make those kind of decisions anymore. I'll be very selective in what I do. And I thought that way, and it was a very slow process. Um, I had put myself in a very deep and dark place, so it wasn't going to be changed overnight. So my book, right, getting up every morning, inspired me to write my book. Gave me a purpose every morning because I was just looking for that purpose to get up in the morning because I couldn't find it because I looked around and saw where I was and I was like, but I said to myself, I am not going to waddle and die here.
Mm.
That's not going to happen.
Yes, Lord.
I had to be persistent enough to say, I got to figure out a way, and I don't care how long it takes. I will not waddle and die in this motel room. So I was persistent enough to keep going, with no real answer to what was that lied ahead. But I knew whatever lied ahead was better than where I was right then and there. So that's what kept me going. And I was proud of myself when I finished the book, got it published, and you know, sent it out to other players about my journey, about my struggles, about my shortcomings and my overcomings. And I get response back from a lot of players who read my book. Some of my own teammates that knew me very well did not know that I had fallen so hard on times, but they told me, "Sirs, he said you put it out there, bro. I can appreciate you putting it out there," and I did. I mean, I was very telling on my shortcomings and my vices as a player and everything that I went through, but I'm more proud of myself for from where I am right now compared to where I was about 15 years ago.
Praise God, you're still here. He had a plan for you, and that plan is to bless other people. Like you said, look what your teammates they see your book, guys. You have to get this book. What's the name of the book again? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't hear.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. This will not happen again. Please hold. Please hold. Ah, testing 1 2. Can you hear me now? You still
Can
can't
you
hear
hear
me?
me? I can't hear you.
Okay, if you could go out and come back in, go out and come back in. If you guys can hear me in the viewers, can you hear me? Put the thumbs up if you can hear me. If you can hear me, put the thumbs up. Please do bear with us. We're having some technical difficulties here. Let's move on to commercial.
I would like you to hit the like button at the beginning because every time you hit the like button, you are letting YouTube know that what you are seeing and hearing is edifying for you so it can be shared with others. That's why hitting the like button is so important. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to the channel.
It had to happen. Your title is so powerful. When I read the name of your ministry, it had to happen.
All right, Mr. Searcy, tell me you can hear me. Can you hear me? This is not happening. My audience can hear me, but if you can go out and come back in. Hold on. Please do bear with us, guys. I'm not sure why Mr. Searcy can't hear me. But please do bear with us because this is going to get really good. And I don't know why this enemy is playing with us. Mr. Searcy, can you go back out and come back in?
I'm working on it.
Can you hear me now? Please do bear with us. Please do bear with us. While Mr. Searcy is getting ready and to log out and come back in, guys, I pray that you are taking something away from this, and you all can see what goes on behind the scenes of athletes. This is Confessions of an Athlete from Mr. Leon Searcy Jr.
Log out.
Please do bear with us, you guys. He spoke about so many different things about how you have to be God release it. Yes, come on, sis. I can hear him. Yes, he can hear. I mean, we can hear him, but he can't hear me. God release the sound. Come on, sis. Pray right now, sis. Thank you so much. Look, that's what I'm talking about. Jump right into action. God release the sound now, God. Yes, yes, yes. But he spoke all about too. Thank you so much, sis. That's what happened when you have somebody to pray. That's what I'm talking about. Come on now. But he spoke all about the agents, the financial advisors, the women, everything to look for, and not everything, but some of the things. He gave us 3 things, and I don't remember them all because it was so much that I was just trying to take in. But there were so many things that he was telling us. But the one thing he did say is physically, spiritually, and mentally. Those are the 3 things that you need entering the NFL. You have to make sure you're mentally stable. Number 1 is spiritual. You make sure you're spiritually inclined, mentally stable, and then you're physically, you could be able to handle the things physically. Let's see. Got you back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. There we go.
All right.
I had to log out. I had to log out to get back in.
That's okay. Listen, I had my sister come in. She said, God, release sound now. Release the sound now. And okay, we have Mr. Searcy back here. And Mr. Searcy, we were talking about that moment in that hotel room. Hearing what you said, we're going to dive into a little bit of the pain part of it. And the pain didn't come later. See, you didn't even know that in that hotel room when you were having those thoughts and you were going through the things that you were going through, that you were going to even come up on something like you came a couple of weeks ago or a week ago when the young man committed suicide. Oh, God, hearing that as a mother of an athlete, I saw your post and it touched me so, so deeply. I had to inbox you and thank you. Of all, thank you for answering this call and accepting the invitation to come on tonight. Where did we fail him? Because I'm sure there were signs. I'm sure there were signs that we probably missed. You know, people were in contact with him. What are some of the signs that we could look for as mothers, mentors, coaches, or whoever is in contact with that athlete?
Well, you got to remember this. being an athlete, we're always taught to, be tough, don't cry, suck it up. We're taught to withhold our emotions. And I'm sure that this kid was crying out to somebody, but they didn't hear him, because you don't make that kind of drastic decision about yourself at the age of 26 years old without reaching out to somebody. And it's just unfortunate that whoever he reached out to didn't listen. And we're all speculating right now. I mean, this is based on speculation. I don't know any of this to be true.
Right.
But if he was in a dire situation where he felt like killing himself was the only option, he had to reach out to somebody before he did what he did. And that's unfortunate that that person didn't, I don't know, save his life, but gave him another moment to live. And that's all he probably needed. And at that particular time was another moment to live, because all you had to do was get him through the morning or get him through the evening, and maybe he could have felt better about himself. And this is all based on speculation. That's all, because I wasn't there, you weren't there.
Right.
But
right.
I just wish that someone had came to his aid and listened to him, to where you could have just got him through the night, and then maybe the morning would have been a lot better for him.
Jesus. Ooh, here, my son just came in, Mr. Searcy. He said, "What's up, Leon?"
What's up, fam?
But hearing, and like he said, this is just speculation. This is not to be true. We don't know this to be true. However, if you have that athlete that's struggling, just tell us some of the signs that we could look for, Mr. Searcy.
Well, I can only speak on my behalf because I dealt with that. And the one thing I did, first and foremost, I was embarrassed about my situation, my current situation. I didn't want anybody to know that I was living in a motel room. So I was very standoffish. I was I wore my emotions. I was very high volatile emotionally, because I wanted to blame everybody for my situation. So I was very volatile as far as my emotions went, as far as anything could trigger me to get upset. Okay. I felt a sense of abandonment, loneliness, misled, manipulated. So there was just a stir. I felt cheated on by the people that I knew. There was, and I questioned my existence. I questioned that would anybody miss me if I was gone?
Wow.
It was the truth of the matter, because I didn't have any relationship with anybody. I didn't have family talking to me. I didn't have any so-called friends calling to check in on me. My agent wasn't calling me. Nobody that I felt that I felt that when I was playing, that had my best interests at hand. They weren't concerned about me. As far as I was concerned, I was disposable. I was what's it called? I don't want to say trash, but what's those things called? I was recyclables. I was recyclable. You could just put me out in the corner. That was the way I felt. That after Leon Searcy, just move on to the next one.
My God. Wow. Now, how long after? How long after? How long after did you feel that way? Did it take a while, or was it instant?
Well, it took a while. I mean, it took a while. But then I spent about 2 years in that motel room. 2 years in the motel room. Not realizing that that what I saw was as struggle was actually, see, God will break you down to build you back up. And use you as an example
Yes.
of, so I at the time, I didn't understand why I had to go through what I went through. But now that I'm where I am right now, I understand why I went through those struggles. Because I'm a testimony.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I mean,
I'm a testimony of,
yes.
and it's what's unfortunate about this is that there's a lot of athletes out there that don't. I'm not wishing this on anybody, but the statistics say that 78% of the players who lead the NFL broke and bankrupt. So, I mean, I'm not wishing that on anybody. I'm just saying that if you find yourself in that kind of situation, you've got to evaluate the decision makings that you made, the people that you dealt with, and the people that you have allowed to be in your circle to put you in that kind of. And there's a lot of players that are in that situation right now, but they're too embarrassed to ask for help, and that's unfortunate. But I understood that I had to be broken in order for me to be made again, whole again.
Absolutely. But you know what? I just think that you wasn't broken. I think you was just a little bent, bent but not broken. Because
Well,
thing is, when God is in, like you spoke about it, you said you have to be spiritually inclined when you're coming into this league, right? So that part was that what you had to deal with, that was birthing your purpose. It was birthing your purpose for now. So he just bent you a little bit, Mr. Sarah. See, you probably wanted to throw in the towel, but God threw it back at you. He said, I'm not done with you yet.
I don't know if he bit me. Listen, if he bit me, I was on IR because I didn't feel like no bit.
See, listen, we think that it's when they happen, Mr. Saracen.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just telling you, at the time, it didn't feel good.
At the time, it didn't feel good.
It didn't feel good.
Trust me. I don't know that pain, but I know some pain. So that pain, when that pain hit, and you all by yourself, and you don't have anybody, especially, I'm sure that you were so good to so many people. You understand? You were so good to so many people, and then in the end, where are they? It's like, who are you at this point? If I'm out there and I'm doing my thing or I'm doing something, God, was I only good as my last favor? You understand what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying.
People do not understand how much pressure, but it's what we allow, though. It's what we allow. However, that you took ownership, but they only see you guys as a walking dollar sign, or you better get out there and you better make that next play. You make a mistake and you watch how the fans or some people act. They don't understand mistakes are going to be made. They don't understand you guys are human. When that jersey come off, those cleats come off, and you guys go home, outside of football, you're human. Inside of football too, but you're human. Oh my God. And I don't think where people stop and think and say, okay, well, let me put myself in their shoes. How would I feel? But Mr. Searcy, being though you were in that hotel room for 2 years broken down and nobody checked on you?
Nope.
Jesus. People of God, y'all better hear this. Hear this. This is a sad situation, but look at him now. We talked about the pain and we talked about the purpose, but now we're going to talk about being where he's at now, because we know trouble don't last always. And Mr. Searcy is here with us on tonight. And Mr. Searcy, the young lady, my sister in Christ, she says, but God. That is a but God moment. Not only did you write that book and you're an author now, but you also a business owner. So tell us how you turned that 2-year bid process around.
Well, it started once I got out of the hotel. I remember going back to Orlando because I was staying in the hotel in Fort Lauderdale. I went back to Orlando because my mom was ill, and I was there with my sister to take care of her before she passed away. And so when she passed away in 2018, I was slipping back down into that slope because, you know, my mama was my hero. Matter of fact, my mom and my dad both passed away within 6 months of each other in 2018. So once that happened to me, I was back in the hotel room feeling sorry for myself. And I remember one of my teammates, well, two of my teammates called me up and asked me what I was doing. And I told them, well, you know, my parents just passed away. They said, you need to get your behind here in Jacksonville. And they got me into the sports talk radio. And I've been doing sports talk radio for about 9 years, going on 10 years now. I do it for 1010XL, which is the flagship station of the Jaguars. So that was a smooth transition for me being a former player going into sports talk radio, and I had done it earlier after my career was over. So that was a good transition for me. So once I got into sports talk radio, I got into the cigar business. I'm in the cigar business. One of my business partner, Howard G Cigars, he got me to the cigar business, and me and Ike Taylor, Howard G, we're 33 and a third owners of our own cigar brand that we've been doing now for 5 years, and it's very successful. It's in over 22 states and over 85 cigar lounges right now, and it's doing very well. And we've got other blends coming out this year. I'm very proud to be in the business with two of my brothers, Howard G and Ike Taylor. So you know, I'm open for, you know, whatever's next. You know, I don't have any limitations. Only limitations I have are the ones I put on myself. So I believe I can do anything if I put my head to it. And so what I've been doing now, as of the last 6 months, is I've been writing the script for my book, because I believe my book could be a TV series with all the stuff that. So I've been working on that right now. So yeah, I'm pretty open to a lot of different ventures right now, because where I've been and where I'm going is two different directions.
My God, thank you, Lord. Whew, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. We want to go ahead and put up some of the viewers' comments. And if you have anything to say back to them, you're more than welcome. My
Hmm.
cousin from Miami, she says, awesome. Congratulations.
Appreciate that.
We have Shannon, Jaguars Diva, my bestie. She says, your purpose, your pain, and we are thankful that you are still standing strong.
I like that. I like that as well.
My sister in Christ, she said, when you're delivered from Labrador, wait, oh, Lullaby, there's joy. Yes, it is. That's good right there. She said, come on, Mr. Searcy. That's what Shannon Shannon Jaguars Diva said. Shawana says, my God, but God. And then Shawana says, process. Come on now. Listen, we
Hmm.
thank you all for tuning in here with us at It Had to Happen TV on tonight. Mr. Cersei got me around here tongue-tied, y'all. He got me so nervous around here. I don't know what's going on. My son said, what's up, Leon? Hey, Ma, I love you. I love you too, champ. God bless you. Won't he do it? Shannon says. Deborah,
Hmm.
she is a huge fan. My sis from Jacksonville, she says, oh, she's so, I can hear him. She was saying she can hear you. Shawana
Hmm.
says, I bind up every distraction. This message must be heard. That's when you were going out. I mean, you couldn't hear me. But Mr.
Hmm.
Cersei, we're going to jump into the next part of our segment, which is some rapid fire questions. But what I'm
Okay.
going to do before we jump into the rapid fire questions, I'm going to let you speak to maybe a mother that's under the sound of your voice, or an inspiring athlete, or a grandparent, a family member of an athlete. Can you give them some pointers or some word of encouragement?
Well, you know, I'm gonna speak to the inspiring athlete. Be yourself. The NFL. Don't let money distort or change who you are. Be authentic. Be the same person you are without money, with money. Uh, if you want to be successful in life, I can tell you how successful in life you'll be based upon the five people that you hang around the most. Um, be very selective with the people that you deal with, the people you talk with and associate with. when you go, if you happen to make it into the NFL, remember you're a corporation, you're an LLC. You make all the hiring and firing. Don't let anybody else tell you what you should do with your business. You run your business. It's you that's putting your body, your life on the line every time that you play a football game. Live within your means. Just because you make $5 million don't mean you have to live like you make $5 million. Live off of 10% of that income, invest the rest of it. If you want to help your family, I put them in a business where they have to come to work every day and get a paycheck. And the business success or failure is based upon their attendance and their willingness to get up and go to work every day. But enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Listen, I just told you all the things that I went through as a former player in the NFL. But I enjoyed the ride while I was there. So just equip yourself for it. It's a hell of a ride now. It's a hell of a ride. You got to buckle up. You got to handle the peaks and valleys. But if you do it right, there'll be a lot more peaks than valleys.
That is so good. So we're going to have a question on mentorship, money management, ownership, personal growth before we get to that rapid fire, because these are the topics that you wanted to speak about. So I had a couple of questions that I put together for you. Y'all might want to get your pens and papers out. If you're a mother, family, or an athlete, you may want to get your pen and papers out. You want to hear this. So number one is, what's the difference? We're going to speak mentorship. What's the difference between having fans and having mentors? Can you hear me, Mr. Searcy? Oh, no. Please do bear with us. Please do bear with us. Mr. Searcy, can you hear me? Guys, I think we're having some technical difficulty here. Please do bear with us. We're going to go on to commercial and we'll be right back. Let me see. Can I get Mr. Searcy back in? All right, all right. I think I have Mr. Searcy back in.
I'm back, yes.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. We know that this is some good information that's needed, and this enemy trying to block the airways, but we bind them up right now. So we're going to go into the mentorship part of it. So what's the difference between having fans and having mentors?
Well, I mean, fans are the ones who are going to give you all the accolades, tell you how great you are, and get you to sign autographs, take pictures with them. I think mentors are more people that have gone through the process that a lot of these players are going through, and they can give them some welcome advice, whether they take it or not. You know, most of the times I tell players, I'm not telling you something I heard. I'm telling you something that I've done, that I've dealt with. And most players, they listen. They listen. You know, I've been called the OG, you know, plenty of times, which I can associate with. But I tell them out of love, because I don't want anything from them, but for them to have success. I just don't want them to have to make the same poor decisions that I made when I was young. So that's why I'm very assertive when it comes to telling them stuff about, you know, some of the entrapments, a lot of the vices that's associated with being in the NFL, situations when it comes to women. And, you know, I can only tell them based upon my affiliation or association with those things, just to be careful. That's all. I just tell them you just be careful, enjoy it. I mean, it's not all doom. Don't get me wrong. It's not all doom and gloom. Being in the NFL is absolutely, it's a blessing. It's an absolute blessing. If you're good enough to play in the NFL, it's an absolute blessing where you can share and associate your time with your family and friends, you know, periodically, you know. But yeah, I just want, I wrote the book to be a precautionary tale, but also an inspiring tale. From where I grew up, to playing at the University of Miami, being a first round pick and playing 11 years in the NFL. Absolutely. You know, I was a 2-star recruit at the University of Miami who had to work my way to where I was. No one ever gave me anything. So I'm proud of that fact that, you know, that I'm one of the all-time greats. And
congratulations. Wow.
yes, and being a Cane means more to me than anything that I did in the NFL.
See, they don't get, see, you have to be a Cane to be able to understand that, Mr. Searcy. And the thing is, you could go anywhere in the world, you got to find somebody that represents or from the University of Miami. Anyway, I love the brotherhood that you guys have. I love that. But secondly, congratulations for all that you accomplished. But what you said that stood out to me, I don't want anything from you. I just want to give you the wisdom. That's it. But what happens is too many people come at them wanting something, so they don't even know when it's someone that's trying to feed them instead of taking out their mouths, you know, and it's so hard. It's very, very hard, you know, but gosh, let's
You
move to
you have to ask for discernment.
you have to. You
You have to ask for discernment. And if you're around people long enough, you'll know the ones who have your best interests at hand, or you'll find out the ones who have their own agenda.
And Mr. Searcy, one thing I could say, I have someone that's here, 2 ladies that's here with me on tonight. When my son left the Jaguars and went on to the Cowboys, still today, even in him not playing, they keep, so Shannon Jaguars diva and Deborah Cobb, I love them to life. I won't say to death. I love them to life. They stood in there. They always, like, you know, checked on Allen, you know, said some great things about Allen. And that's one of the things too. Our kids have to learn to be a great person on and off the field, because that carries with you. It carries with you. And one of the things I can say is you're the great. And people don't understand that you say University of Miami, you know, NFL is good, y'all, but it's nothing like the collegiate years. I'm telling you, even for us mothers, that I think those were the best years of our life. Another mother said the same thing too. So, Mr. Searcy, let's jump into this money management, because we know that you said a lot of 78%, if I'm not mistaken.
78% of the players who leave the NFL are either broke or bankrupt.
And nothing in the NFL, guys, is free.
No, nothing's free.
Nothing is free. Okay, so what would you teach a rookie now about money in their first 90 days?
Well, I tell you what I do sometimes when I go to the high schools and I give a presentation. All right, so a lot of the kids get real excited, and I tell the kids, I say, listen, I'm gonna give you $1 million a year, all right, in your contract, right? And they get excited. Hey, $1 million, that's a lot of money. I said, okay. I said, so with that $1 million, what's the first thing you're gonna do? He said, I'm gonna buy a car. I said, well, before you buy that car, understand that Uncle Sam is gonna get 40% of that $1 million. All right. So now that's 600,000. And then they say, okay. I said, depending on what state you live in, there's state tax. So they're gonna get the state's gonna get their money, and then you got to pay your agent 5% of your contract. So they said, wow, man. So by the time I get to them, I say, okay, now you got 500,000. I said, I know you're gonna buy your mama a house. You're gonna put a down payment on your mama a house and a car. I said, so go ahead and give me about 75 on that. I said, you're gonna buy you a car. I said, do you have a baby mama? If you got a baby mama, child support is coming, knocking on your door. All right. So go ahead and put another 50 alongside of that, whatever. And then I said, I'm gonna give you $100,000 to spend on dumb stuff. Dumb stuff is like car, clothes, jewelry, hanging out, strip clubs. All right, you're gonna do that. I'm just telling you, you're gonna do it. Okay. And I said, family's coming. You're gonna have some family members that tell you that they can't pay a bill or note or something of some capacity where they're gonna ask you for money. And I said, you've done all this and look how much you have, and you ain't even bought you a place to live.
Wait, I ain't hear that part. There's no place
They haven't even bought them a place to live. They're gonna spend all this money on taxes, agent, girlfriend, baby mama, family, and dumb stuff. And I said, now you can buy your place to live. What I basically do is I show these players that $1 million, that 80% of it can go bye-bye in one quick moment. And then I tell a lot of other players, if you're making $5 million a year, just live off 10% of whatever you're making. And I said 10% of $5 million is $500,000. And I say if you can't live off $40,000 a month, something wrong with you.
Wait, but Mr. Searcy, here's this. What happened if you're on that team, you're on one team, and they cut you, and now you have to go move somewhere else?
That's true. Now you got moving expenses. And then with that team that cuts you, the salary doesn't equate to the same salary that you was making with the team before.
You was making, God, that's good. See, it's so much they go with this. But I want to address, I have some questions for you, but I definitely have to go to the viewers' questions as well, because this is a good one. Brenda Scott, she says, why is there not health and wellness on all teams to help players? There is. There's help. The players have to go get it. But go ahead, Mr. Searcy.
Yeah. That's a good question. There's health and wellness available. But I'm gonna tell you the reason why players distance themselves from going to that stuff that's provided in the NFL. The last thing they want the team to know is that you're going to talk to a counselor about depression and all that kind of stuff, because it makes you appear to be weak. Because you got to remember, all that information, although they say it's concealed and it's confidential, you got to remember those people that work at those places, they work for the teams that you're counseling with. So the team is going to find out all the information about you if you're going through depression or all this other kind of stuff. That's the reason why they don't go, because most of that stuff is not confidential.
Man, that's good. And I'm going to hit them with something else too. My girl, she says, replacing emotional spending with intentional choices. But not only that, over. And I know they have a program too. I don't know the name of it, so don't quote me on it. But I know they have this program where if the athlete were to go to this program, they pay them a certain amount of their salary or a certain amount of money. And this program, and it's almost like a what is it called? Not a rehab, but oh gosh, what is it called? What am I trying to say? Basically like a rehab. And what happens is they kind of take you through all this emotional, this mental, you go through all these mental programs and things like that. But Mr. Searcy, if it's not needed, we as parents need to teach our kids, our men need to know not to go to this program, because guess what? You're labeled now. You're labeled. You have to go out and work another job, or you have to go out and work somebody's job, and you don't have you're not starting your own business. Now you have this label over your head. So
yeah, which is kind of sad, to be quite honest with you, because the there's a lot of former players who deal with emotional distress once their careers are over, and they're afraid to turn to anybody because they'll be labeled or considered soft or whatever it may be, whatever the malcontent words that are being said about them, it's going to get out there. And there's a lot of players out there who need the aid and the attention and the counsel to deal with the times after football. And I just think that's sad.
It is very sad. So do you think this is why some of our players is just falling by the wayside because they don't have nowhere to turn?
Yeah, well, you got to remember a lot of these players have been programmed since they were like in Pop Warner to be tough, physical, don't cry, don't tell people when you're hurt and deal with it, be a man, all that kind of stuff. And that's all well and good. But every now and then, it's all right to break down and cry.
That's it.
It's a cleansing. It's a cleansing. If you look at it that way, you look at it as a cleansing. Every now and then, but we're the players that are in the league, they're in the business of not being weak, to not be exposed. So that's what you're having to deal with. And then there's peer pressure. There are guys, that if guys know in the locker room that you're going to a counselor to deal with depression and all that kind of stuff, you get talked about. There's no real empathy for guys who are soft in the locker room. It just isn't. That's the culture that is made like that, where you can't show any vulnerability in any capacity, or they will expose it.
Well, Mr. Searcy, we have she's like a daughter to me. She's a University of Miami alumni too. She's a psychiatrist now. And she says it's definitely the culture. And she says time to break the cycle. I wish she could have been on here with us to kind of speak, give a couple of give some of her insight as well. But that is the biggest lie men are told, that you're not supposed to cry. If something hurt, you're supposed to cry. It's okay to cry, and it's okay not to be okay. But you say in that locker room, you can't show no weakness, no sign of weakness. And see, to me, that's a mental battle, because here's the thing: the Bible tells us where God says, where we're weak, He's made strong. So the thing about it is, you got to stand up to these guys in this locker room, and this is your job. This is not like college. You could just, but this is your job. This is how you feed your family or feed yourself, right? Or feed your families. You get it? But you got to think about it. If this is not right, my God, you have to have a spiritual life, Mr. Searcy said. Your mental have to be on point, and then your body. Your body, because if that mental ain't right, it's going to break down that body. So, Mr.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, man. Let's jump into the next one. We're going to jump into ownership now, because that's something that I saw that you did early on in the earlier part of the conversation. So, when did you stop blaming circumstances, right, and start owning the outcomes?
Well, I stopped blaming other people because I realized that it was getting me nowhere. It was exhausting energy that I could have been utilizing in something more effective. I was calling out people names who did this to me, who did that to me, and it wasn't beneficial to my psyche, because I'm spending all my time and energy on them while they're going on living their lives, not thinking about me. So I knew that I had to change. There had to be a change of pace and the way that I directed my energy. And that was important to me. So once I was able to redirect my energy and take ownership for the numerous amount of mistakes that I made as a person, that was, I want to say it was fulfilling, because I knew that if I took ownership to the mistakes that I made, I could take ownership for the good choices that I made moving forward. That's right. And that's what I did. I decided after that I was going to make better choices when it pertained to what I wanted in my life, and stop blaming others. So once I did that, things started moving for me. and I was able to get out of my situation and be proud of myself again.
Look at God. Yes,
Hmm.
Lord. Ashley says, if only they knew being vulnerable is not a weakness, it takes a strong person to be vulnerable. So true.
Yeah,
So true.
and you know, and that's what I wanted to do when my book, in the book that I wrote, Fourth Down the Damn Alignment Story. I was very vulnerable about the mistakes that I made, and I tell people, when you read the book, you're gonna love me, hate me again, and then fall in love with me again. Because
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie, some of the stuff that I did in the book was just, if I could go back and slap the 28-year-old Leon Searcy, yeah, I would slap the hell out of him.
wait, this is something that had to happen. It had to happen.
And I'm just telling you now. I'm just telling you.
Y'all better get this book. Y'all better
I'm
get
just
this
telling you
book.
right now. If I could go back and choke him out, I would.
Ooh, I'm
It
going
was
to
a
get
mess.
this
He was a
book.
damn
Mr.
mess.
Searcy.
Hmm?
I'm going to get this book. Y'all better
He
get
was a
this book.
mess.
Y'all
Now
want
I'm
to know
telling
what
you.
you
Huh?
talking about. My Norma says that we as parents need to teach our sons that it's okay to cry. Boys hurt too. That is so true. Oh my gosh. You temple. Yes, yes, yes. Ashley says your environment don't dictate who you are. We have the power to change our lives, and I love that. Listen, Mr. Searcy is not there, you guys. You have to go get this book. Mr. Searcy, where we can get this book at? Because I need it.
Well, the name of the book is Fourth Down and Damn Alignment Story. You can go to Amazon Books to purchase it, or you can go to Audible because we have it on Audible Books as well.
Okay. All right. I
Hmm.
think I like to do the Audible because, I'm just getting into this reading thing. So
Okay.
I'll do the Audible. Also, too, Mr. Cersei is a business owner of cigars, y'all. I don't
Yeah.
know much about them, but Mr. Cersei, you could go ahead and tell them all about your cigar business as well again if we have someone that just came in the building.
Okay. Well, listen, if you're a cigar fan or you love the cigar culture, which I do, um, my business partner name is Howard G, and the name of the brand is Howard G Cigars. All our cigars are Nicaraguan, leaf binder, and blend. Other business owner name is Ike Taylor. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's also the #1 scout for the Steelers as we speak today. Me, Howard, and Ike are all business partners in the brand. The brand's been around for 5 years, going on 6 now. We have 11 different blends, and we're in 22 states, and we're in over 80 cigar lounges.
Wow. Y'all listen, I'm coming to Jacksonville. I'm gonna have to I don't know nothing about smoking no cigar. I know nothing about smoking no cigar, but I have to come and visit you. I have to sit and pick your brain a little bit more. I only had you, of course, I had you for an hour. We're a little over time because this stuff is so good, but you're giving out a
Mm-hmm.
whole lot of valuable information, Mr. Searcy. And I hate to say it, but I have to say it. Your it's they happen to you, but they happen for you. And now you're here to share your testimony, one,
Mm-hmm.
and help the people, out with some things that my bestie said we should swap books. I'm an author as well. This podcast was birthed from my book. It had to happen,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
but definitely I have to get that book because I want to hear more, especially being a mother of an athlete and also having a nonprofit that who we cater to athletes and their families because
Okay.
it's so much that it's so much meat I'm sure that you share inside of there, and being vulnerable is the biggest thing, and owning it, you know not being
Mm-hmm.
afraid to speak about your it's and the things that you went through, the things that you did, the things that you overcame. This is how people can get some help. How can you help anybody if you never been through it, right?
True.
You
True.
can't help
Yeah.
anybody if you didn't been through it.
Well,
So
the one thing about it, these were self-inflicted wounds.
mm,
Uh, it was self-inflicted. I was. Let me just tell you this: I was raised better. How about that?
but that's
But
it.
the desires of money, women, clothes, cars, jewelry, those came with being an NFL player, and I fell victim to them. And I was raised better than that. So that was my shortcoming. because I've never been. I was never a womanizer. I was never any of those type of things that I become once I became an NFL football player, because they were so apparent to me in the locker room. I saw guys womanizing. I saw guys spend money recklessly. I saw it, and I thought that came along with the territory instead of just being authentic. I went along with what everybody else was doing. Very impressionable as a rookie and a first round pick.
Whoa.
So I would tell a lot of players, especially first round picks, to be authentic, be yourself, who you are, because there are a lot of guys who are entrenched in a lot of the vices and the misleadings of the NFL life. And if you watch them, you're going to go down the same road they go down.
And even in everyday life, some of us is always looking in someone else's mirror and seeing what they have because it's on social media. And we know social media is, well, for me, it's entertainment, but however, we're looking at what someone else have, not knowing what they had to go through to get it. But we want to live. You spoke about too. You want to do the things that others doing haven't. In that locker room. That's especially a rookie, especially a rookie, coming in as a rookie, and you're in this locker room and you see these vets. They're in there. They're living the life. They're living the life you
Yeah.
probably
You
dreamed of.
become very impressionable when you see them do what they're doing, have the fun that they have. You just think that's what being an NFL player is all about.
And
And
it's not.
let me tell you something. That's not all veterans. Okay, so I don't want to throw a wide blanket on all veterans, because there's some veterans in there who do the right thing, but the ones that do the right thing don't seem to be having the most fun.
That's good right there. But my Norma, she says, where are your cigars sold in Jacksonville?
Well, right now there's Aromas. Aromas
Oh,
is on South Side. Yeah, on Aromas. We'll be in Cigar International. That's off of that's in off of Town Center. We'll be there in June.
okay.
Yeah, but right now we're in Aromas, and we're in Island Girl Cigars in Ponte Vedra.
Oh, we used listen, Mr. Searcy. When I couldn't make it to my son's game, we used to throw the little watch parties inside Aromas. We had the time of our life. That Aroma still, oh my gosh! When I come to
It's
Jackson,
still kicking. It's
what?
still kicking. Yeah, it's still kicking.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to come visit. I'm definitely gonna have to come visit. So let's do the rapid fire questions before I get you out of here. But Mr. Searcy, you have to promise me that you're gonna come back and give us a part two.
Absolutely.
Ah, thank you. See, that's what happened when you're a U fan. You not just a U fan, but you fam. Y'all don't understand. I can't keep saying it. It's a you thing that some of you guys will not understand. But let's go
And
to
that's
these.
okay. They don't have to understand as long as we do.
That's what do you think about that championship? I'm gonna bring Vinny on. Vinny
Benny
Scavo?
Blades?
No, Vinny Scavo, the trainer.
Okay, okay. What I think about the championship? Listen, it's hard. It's hard to critique that. I mean, we had every opportunity to win that game. Um, I know a lot of people want to pile on Carson Beck in that interception, but listen, we don't make it that far without Carson, to be quite
That's
honest with you.
right.
So it was
Mm,
a hell of a ride. I enjoyed every moment of it until the end.
yes,
That team was good enough. That team was good enough to be a national champion.
absolutely.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Mhm,
they were good enough. So I'm
mhm.
proud of them that they made it that far.
Yes, and I have to shout out my little cousin. He's number 7. Zach Poiser. Listen, he's
Okay,
bleeding through a
all
defense.
right.
Yeah, see, so we got it bleeding through the family. It's bleeding through there. So Ashley said either they can play now or pay later. Oh, they could play now or pay later. That's so true. Or pay now and play later. I think I'd rather be the vet who doesn't look like I'm having fun. Basically, that is so true because fun is not always good, y'all. You heard it right here. You see, so
Hmm.
let's do these rapid fire questions before we get on out of here, and you can
All
answer
right.
however you want. Let's do this. Save or invest?
Um, if you don't know what you're doing, save.
Okay. Talent or discipline?
Mm, discipline.
Okay. Pressure or purpose?
Purpose.
Hmm. Legacy or lifestyle?
Legacy.
Love it. Comfort or growth?
Growth.
Hmm. All great answers. And why did you say growth?
Because I mean, if I stayed in that hotel, I would have been comfortable. But
Mm,
I had to grow from my pain. You
yes.
know, it's not. But I remember someone told me nothing great ever is accomplished in comfort.
Nothing great is, say that again for me.
Nothing great is ever accomplished in your comfort zone.
Hmm.
That's just
That
my
is,
assessment.
no, but that is the
If you
truth.
want to be great, you got to take chances. You got
Risk.
to be a little uncomfortable if you want
Hmm.
to be great. I remember there's a coach that told me that Jimmy Johnson told me that anybody could be ordinary, but it takes courage to excel.
Oh, wait a minute now. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this because these are some great notes. I hope y'all listening. I hope you guys. My daughter say, "Grow, growth is uncomfortable." Yes, it is. It's very
Hmm.
uncomfortable. But see, that's the thing. That's what God He does some of His best work in the uncomfortable place. See, we want to get out whatever the it that we're in. We're so eager to get out of it and study crying out to God and say, "God, don't fix it, fix me." You understand? Strengthen me to get through it because there's something in it that he want us to get. So you got it, Mr. Searcy, and you
Hmm.
here and you speaking on it tonight. I need all the law quotes. Yes, yes, daughter. He dropping jewels on tonight. All of these. Yes, yes, yes. So, Mr. Searcy, I am so honored once again to sit here with you on tonight. And prayerfully, you come back soon. Don't let it be too long to come back and
No,
drop.
it won't. You let me know.
I'm ready whenever you are. You have that link. You let me know when you're ready to come back on. Because
All
I would
right.
love to have you here again because it's so much that you dropped on tonight, the gems that you dropped on tonight. I pray somebody took something from it. And maybe
Mm.
I'll get maybe I get Alan on here with you and my daughter Rochelle. Maybe we'll get a little panel up here to speak
That'll
about,
work.
some things. That's the you fam. See, let me tell you,
Hmm.
you can call on your you fam. I don't care where they are. They may not come then, but they definitely will come through
Hmm.
for you. That's the bond that you guys have, Mr. Searcy, I just can't keep saying enough. My
Listen,
mom, she says she's a FSU mom. I'll put it up on the screen, but I showed a little love because that's my
when it
mom.
when it comes to the you family, it's like this. They may not always be there when you call, but they always on time.
Come on now. Yes, y'all heard it here. It had to happen TV. So, Mr. Searcy, thank you again. Thank you to
You
our
got
youth
it.
family. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, LinkedIn. Thank you, Instagram. We're forever grateful for each and every one of you tuning in here with us on tonight. So, listen. Tonight, we didn't just hear from a champion and a legend, y'all. We heard from a man who understands that mentorship protects you. Money requires discipline. Ownership demands maturity, and growth never stops. If this conversation gave you tools, not just motivation, then it did its job. So, what I want you guys to do for me now, if you have not hit that subscribe button and that notification button to let you guys know every time we go live here at It Had to Happen TV, please do so now. It is for free. But watch this. If you're serious about becoming more than your talent, be a subscriber. Share this with an athlete who needs guidance. Send it to someone stepping into ownership and drop one word in the comments that represents what you're building right now. We would love to hear from you all. And please do follow us on all social media platforms. It Had to Happen TV. You would get some great content like the legend, Mr. Searcy himself. So, Mr. Searcy, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you the floor before we get out of here, and you can offer the words of encouragement or however the Lord may lead you.
All right. Well, I listen. First and foremost, I want to say I appreciate you having me on my show. Always love opportunities like this to speak on behalf of former players, even current players, to always be themselves. Don't be drawn into the lifestyle of an NFL player, because um, it comes with vices. It comes with a lot of stuff that you may have to struggle with once your career is over with. So just be who you are. And if anybody doesn't like it, to hell with them. Go about the business of being about your business. And you'll always stay in business.
Come on, Mr. Searcy. Repeat that last sentence for me one more time. Oh my God. If you what? If you be about your business, how did it go? If you be about your business,
All right.
you can't hear me? Oh my gosh, once again. But we love you guys here at It Had to Happen. Listen, if you came in late, you definitely want to go back and rewatch this broadcast, because Mr. Searcy, he dropped some amazing jewels on tonight. And if, again, I can't stress enough, if you know an athlete, families of an athlete, please do get this broadcast to them. Please share it. Please, please, please. And you can be a guest on It Had to Happen TV as well. All you have to do is reach out on my on my website at www.ericawilsonih, the number 2h.com. I'll love to have you. Until next time, guys. Bye bye. Have the most amazing night ever. Oh, tomorrow I will have the Ryan Montgomery with me on tomorrow. Man, do he have a story as well. So meet me back here at 6 p.m. Until next time, guys. We love you all. Bye bye.
All right. All right.